The Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday in a high-profile case brought against a Maryland school board by 6 parents who are Catholic and Muslim. They want the schools to provide opt-outs for parents who have religious objections to LGBT books read in elementary schools. The schools say an earlier effort to allow opt-outs was disruptive. Joining us now to discuss this case is Bethany Mandel. She's the co-author of the book Stolen Youth: How Radicals Are Erasing Innocence and Indoctrinating a Generation. Bethany, thank you so much for joining us. Good to have you here. Now, following that marathon 2+ hour oral arguments yesterday, give us a rundown of what this case boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely. So it started about 2 years ago when the Montgomery County Public Schools decided that LGBTQ books would become mandatory. And they had introduced these books a year prior, not into sort of the sexuality portion of the curriculum, but into English language arts, which means you're not automatically granted an opt-out. But they had been granting an opt-out. And then, according to Montgomery County Public Schools in their oral arguments yesterday, too many parents objected to this material. And their response wasn't to evaluate the material and maybe consider that they should honor the wishes of the parents that were en masse pulling their kids out, but instead remove the ability of these parents to opt their children out. These are books about extreme gender and sexual themes. Along the lines of, they were talking about it during the oral arguments yesterday, a book that was written for 3- and 4-year-olds, not 3rd and 4th grade, 3- and 4-year-olds, that featured a sex worker, that featured the word leather. And there were debates in the Supreme Court yesterday about the context of leather for a book written for 3- and 4-year-olds. So it was a very contentious situation for the last 2 years here in Maryland, in Montgomery County, Maryland. And the school board meetings were completely taken over by this debate for 2 straight years. The Montgomery County Public Schools have spent upwards of $2 million to fight this case through the district courts, and now it's landed at the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has in front of them the ability to decide a case that it hasn't decided anything like this in close to 50 years, how parental rights can interface with the public school system. And in that case, Yoder versus Wisconsin in 1972, they delivered a decisive victory in favor of parental rights. And this case goes well beyond that one. So this really has the potential to change the landscape for parental rights in the public school system, which has been a huge cultural flashpoint in this country for the last 5 to 10 years.